doing, y'all? Welcome to the We Dem Boys Podcast, man. We are super excited to get going with this. We thank you for tuning in. We got a crew here. I'm Troy Potts. We got Tanner Stuckman on here, Macker Little, Johnny Big John Bodorf's on here, and this is the first episode of the We Dem Boys Podcast. We kind of came up with this idea. Us four went to high school together, been in a group chat, called We Dem Boys. So we figured, let's give this a shot and let's see what we got here. So we're going to do a little introductions and we'll get to it. All right, Tanner, let's start off with you.
I'm Tanner Stuckman. I played 5 years at Quincy University. Went to QND, 4-year pro. I'm excited to be on the podcast with the boys.
Johnny, Big John, come on. What we got?
Yeah, I'm known as Big John. I'm a Quincy Notre Dame alumni, survivor of childhood obesity, and I play football at Northern Arizona.
All right, Macker, what we got?
I'm 24, living the, married, working 9 to 5 is what it is. We're out here balling. Post-college athlete. Now I just play pickleball all in my free time and, cook on them old people.
There we go. I like it. One thing we all kind of mentioned, we all went to Quincy Notre Dame high school together, grew up. Macker and I, same class. Johnny was younger, Tanner was older, but we've always had just a really good bond. And the thing we want to target with this podcast is we all have had experiences, with the college athletic side of things. We all love sports, but we also love just getting on the phone with each other and, laughing, telling jokes, talking about real life stuff. So that's really what this is going to be. It's called We Dem Boys, and that's just kind of what it is. So we're really looking forward to this, and we're glad that y'all are taking the time to listen with us, and we're excited to start it out. So first topic we came up with today, misconceptions in college and professional athletics. Like Tanner mentioned, pro basketball player now. Johnny, Division I football player now. Mac played Division II soccer. I coached at Division II level for basketball. So we've all seen it. But, Tanner, we're going to start it off with you being at the professional level. Tell us a little bit about your experiences so far and where you've been, but also some things that people might not realize. Like, I think everybody thinks that the pro college life is just, getting to play your sport and living the best life, but it really is a grind, as we all know. So Tanner, go ahead and just kind of share with us a little bit of your thoughts on that.
Well, first off, I'm going to start out with college because, dude, the misconception that college sports is fun, and these other two can interject in it. It's not fun at all. Like, it's literally Navy SEAL military boot camp. Like, I don't know how it was for Big John and Macker, but for us being with QU, like it was miserable. Like, the preseason was awful. It was a great experience to build relationships and spend time with the guys and play in the games, but the practices and everything were brutal. Like, I don't miss that stuff at all. Like, now it's simple for me. I go to practice for 2 hours a day, go lift for an hour, 15 minutes, get extra shots up, and I go home. Now I don't have to worry about doing all the extra stuff, attending all the 600 events that we had to go to. But listen, I saw the look, Johnny, that you gave me when I said it wasn't very fun. But dude, I'm telling you, like, it's a grind, and it's definitely not for everybody.
I can agree with that. It is a grind. I will say, I played Division II football before I was here, and like D2 football players was definitely a grind. Like, Division I players are just pampered. When I hear my teammates complain about like anything, I'm just like, you guys have everything handed to you on a silver platter. Everybody holds your hand doing everything. Like, it's almost impossible for you to fail. If you fail, you're like, you just either are horrible at your sport or you're just an idiot. And so, like, I have fun doing it. Obviously, like you said, the games are fun. Yeah, the practices suck. And the workouts, like, you're just going to do hard stuff in the name of, like, toughness. We're going to get tough today. Like, I don't need this. I don't need to bear crawl 800 yards to be tough, coach. I think I'll survive. So I do agree with you on that end. It's a grind. It is a grind.
I guess it's my turn. I'd say I do agree with you, Tanner, that it's not always enjoyable, but I have a little different perspective now that I'm a retired athlete and that I work, a desk job all day. I feel like now the biggest thing that I miss is like craving competition. I've been playing some sort of competitive sport, playing for something almost my whole life, and now it's just not there. I mean, I'm always competitive in everything I do, but just, not having a pushing force in something in my life and competitively sports, but still getting out and doing stuff. I think pickleball is my calling right now. But other than that, I'd say now that I'm done, I do miss in season. I definitely don't miss the post seasons like spring and preseason. That was never fun, but the actual games themselves, I definitely do miss just because you guys are still playing, so you're still busting your balls, putting in the work. I'm just busting my balls so I don't have a beer gut 24/7.
Yeah, I wish that's how that worked.
Yeah.
No, I think those are all good points. And with me, obviously, I never went through the grind of the actual work, being around it as a coach. So I think like the thing, and Tanner and I obviously were on some of the same teams, at Quincy University. It's crazy like things back then that we just hated, like the early mornings or the days of just kind of the long practices for no reason. But it's kind of funny how like now we sit back and we reflect on how like funny those times actually were. Like I remember Tanner and I used to have to go for fundraising. We'd go to Iowa University for some football games, and we'd have to start a shift at like 3 a.m. Till about 9 p.m. at night that day. We didn't keep any of the money. The money went to the program. Stuff we needed for travel, uniforms, all that stuff, and like. It was terrible then, but we still sit and talk about all the times with it. And I think that's the thing, the thing all four of us have in common is we've experienced like smaller college athletics. I think it's a little different there because it's not going to be one of those things where you have the resources. Like you're not going to be like Johnny might be living now where you get done working out and you got 50 cold tubs and 30 trainers and all that kind of stuff to help you. I mean, it is a grind. I know that you guys went through it. Like people don't realize that because it's really easy, especially when you're being recruited by small colleges. Like maybe I just want to go to a state school and party and just go to class and get to enjoy being a college student. At these smaller schools, especially where they're located, like your life is simply work on your sport and go to class. And even if you felt like doing anything else, there isn't exactly that party scene that a lot of 18 to 22-year-old kids look for. So I think that's really a fair point. Johnny, I'll kind of transition this to you since you kind of started out the Division II level. Now I know you're actually in Arizona. You're living this Division I life now. Kind of, what is your everyday life kind of like right now? And then as you transition the season here in a couple of weeks, because I'm sure it's a lot different a little bit than obviously high school for sure, and then even when you were at the Division II level. I don't think people really understand what at that level your workouts and your day consists of.
Yeah, so we every day I'll wake up around like 5:30 or 6 a.m. and we start on the field at 7 a.m. do either some sort of conditioning or like stuff to get faster, agility drills, something outside running, getting your heart rate up basically. So that's always a good time. And then right after that, we'll get like 5 minutes to go transition, hop into the weight room. We'll do upper body lifts on like Mondays and Thursdays, lower bodies on Tuesdays and Fridays, and then afterwards, usually get the cleats back on, and you'll go out and actually do some like actual football stuff. For me, it's always working on snapping and footwork and all that stuff. Offensive line plays, its own little art craft kind of thing. And so, yeah, it's all that whole deal. And then by that time, it's probably like 10:30, 11. So yeah, like I'm going into my 6th year. I've had 3 knee surgeries, so I hit the training room, get in the cold tub, stretch, do the old man things that I got to do to wake up the next day and do it again. And so that's kind of it. After that, I go home, cook your meals. Summertime, a lot of guys have jobs. Like I DoorDash, I just deliver people food during the day in Flagstaff, Arizona, and hang out. And then you wake up again and do it the next day. And so it's not too bad until so we start camp next week. And I mean, that really like ramps everything up. So we'll get up pretty early. Breakfast check-ins at like 7 a.m. So you go to our dining hall, you get breakfast. Right after that, you'll have a meeting. After that meeting, that'll be like an hour-long meeting. You'll go get taped for practice, get all your stuff on. Practice is like 2 hours or so. Get done with practice. By that time, you got to go over to lunch. You go eat lunch at the dining hall. You come back. You get like 45 minutes to an hour to nap. And then usually we'll come back and have usually a lift in the afternoon to start, like a very light, easy lift, kind of get the blood flowing again. After the lifts, you go to your meetings and you watch what you did at practice. So it's just the most repetitive thing ever. And then After that, you'll go to dinner, eat dinner, and then after dinner, usually we have like a team meeting going over, I don't know, compliance, academics. Somebody's got to talk every night about something on campus. It gets super mundane, and you do that for like 3 weeks straight. It's fun because you don't have to think about anything else but your sport, but it's also like you're in purgatory because you're just doing the same thing every day. I'm sure basketball was the same thing. I'm sure soccer had the same deal. It's just practice, eat, meetings all over again. And eventually you transition to the school year and it's less time and you get into practices and stuff like that. And so I enjoy it. It's not bad. I mean, it's a grind, but if I was a regular student, I don't know. I don't think I could have done regular college. I don't love school that much. So I'm not sure what I would have done, but yeah.
So not a lot of time in that schedule for any pool time or anything like that. But the thing I'm gonna make a little joke here. The thought of you bringing DoorDash to me on a nice day in Arizona, it's impossible to be in a bad mood. Like if you were my DoorDash deliverer, I would instantly just be smiling ear to ear. But that yeah,
I hope DoorDash
But,
doesn't listen to this. If I got a Teapots delivery for DoorDash, I'm eating at least half of your food, if not all of it.
There's so many
You're
times
gonna get
where
my
I
garbage
just want to
away.
order Jimmy John's so Troy delivers my food.
Yes, I am. Thank you, Mac, for letting people know I work at Jimmy John's, little side summer job. But no, I think back to that, I think like it's just a lot. I think, and we'll get into Tanner here in a bit, kind of talking about how much different it is at the professional level. But no, I definitely think that it is a misconception. And like there's a lot of kids now, they want to be a college player, they want to do this, they want to do that, but I don't think they really understand the sacrifices you make. So it was good to get all your guys' perspective. Now, Tanner, obviously playing at the professional level, talk a little bit about that and your experience so far, and kind of the same concept. Like I'm sure everyone thinks that you're hitting threes and getting paid a crap ton of money and getting to eat out and have steaks every night, but I know from talking to you that's not the case. So just kind of tell us a little bit about that.
Well, first things first, Troy, the compliance meetings, there's nothing more I loved than meeting with the compliance lady and talking about the dumbest crap ever. Like, oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. Like, no, how about we just stay up in the office and just don't talk to us? That used to drive me crazy at QU. We'd have these compliance meetings. It's like, for what? Like, listen, it's the same stuff every year, lady. And like the part of the problem is half the compliance people don't have a clue what they're talking about in the first place. So that's my little soapbox about that. But no, I mean, I think with professional sports, dude, it's amazing. I get to literally just sit around and just think basketball all day. I get to get up, and I know like in Spain we had 8-hour days. We were in the gym for 8 hours, between the long film sessions and all the weightlifting, and the 3-hour practices were always a blast. That's the thing that a lot of guys don't understand when they try to play professionally, especially in Spain. Like Spain is, I would say, it's getting close behind the United States, but it's probably the second best basketball country in the world. And I know a lot of Canadian people probably get upset about that, but I really don't care.
Canada.
The talent level's way better in Spain than it is in Canada. Sorry.
All of our Canadian podcast listeners are going to be so upset with you, Tanner.
Just America's top hat. I agree
all
with
the
them.
people from Windsor, Ontario, who I play with. Oh, it's not true. Yeah, well, it is true. Sorry, guys. Spain's
We're
much
gonna get
better.
some hate. We're getting hate comments early on in this.
Yeah, but I mean, no, I mean the days are long, but it's super chill. Like when I was in Oviedo in Spain, like I had meals and stuff covered for me, 2 meals a day. So I mean, I was able to eat like all the Spanish food and all that, which it was kind of dumb because our restaurant was Italian and the food wasn't really Spanish, but it's whatever. Still tasted good. Yeah, it didn't really make any sense, but no, I mean definitely the first couple of years the paychecks were definitely not as lucrative as everybody thinks, but just signed a nice little deal in the UK, so I'm not gonna be complaining about that. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it, dude. To be honest with you, my biggest thing, once again, professional is great, but I feel like college is where I was like, dude, like what's going on? Like, I was confused 24/7, especially with the compliance meetings. Dude, I'm like, well, why are we having these? These are just a complete waste of my time.
So Canadians and compliance directors are not going to be a fan of this podcast. Tanner, you mentioned, congrats on the new deal. We're obviously happy for you. Does this mean I finally get my cut from all the rebounding I did over the years?
No, Troy, you know what? You and my cousin Chandler have been wanting to cut for a while, and it's, you know what I call that? It's quality time. You get to
Yeah,
spend quality
I kind of
time with me.
Yeah, I've kind of figured that. I'll embrace it. I'll embrace, and it's, the thing I will say, and not to get too sentimental with these three guys, but obviously going to high school with them, these three guys truly are the definition of the hard work and the work ethic that it takes to be good in their sports. I've gotten to witness it firsthand from these three. So, and that
All the
started
soccer
out,
games you totally went to, Troy?
all of them. I love soccer.
So many
Love
soccer games I remember seeing
Love
you at.
soccer.
That beautiful
Absolutely.
fall weather when it's a little
Dude,
chilly.
okay,
and-
hold up. My favorite memory going to a soccer game was when they had the hula hoop night. And we threw out one of our awkward players. I'm not even going to say his name, just in case he watches, but dude was a complete goober, dude, dork. And we literally we hyped him up. We're like, "Oh, you got to do it, dude!" So we went out there in like some Hawaiian shirt, was doing like these little hula hoop thing, just looked like a complete idiot. It's one of my favorite memories ever. So thanks, Mac, for having hula hoop night. Appreciate that.
I couldn't even tell you what night that was, Tanner, to be honest.
Also
Long time
hope
ago.
We probably lost.
Also hope that person isn't watching this, because now we've lost this person, the Canadians, and the compliance director. Trying to get viewers here, guys, but it's all good. It's all good. That was
Troy.
funny.
You got to change up this format if you're going to get viewers, my guy.
Wait till it's home.
This is like a presidential debate. You're the mediator.
You got the wrong guys, buddy.
Like, you got the room for 5 minutes. Go, Big John.
Wait till we break it to people that
right
Troy
back
was
to
our
Troy.
mascot
Nobody butts in. That's what
he was out there as a ginger wearing a headdress.
Bro, I forgot about that. You were the mascot, dude. Congrats, man.
Mascot. Well, it's funny.
Put that on your resume.
Yeah, I will. It's funny because before, but I'm trying to get, these guys organized. Like we have this podcast, like we're trying to go down this. And of course, I might be a little bit too on point. But with that being said, I am going to transition to what we were talking about. New subject with it, though. We all played high school basketball together. One thing that I know Tanner is very passionate about is the shot clock in high school sports. So, Tanner, I'm going to start with you, but first I do want to let the viewers know that don't know. In our tri-state area, we have Illinois is going to add a 35-second shot clock in 2026 and 2027 season. Iowa has been playing with a 35-second shot clock the last few years. Missouri currently has no plans for a shot clock. So, Tanner, I'm going to start with you because I know this is a very passionate subject for you. Why does high school sports need a shot clock?
So, because I'm sick and tired of watching people hold the basketball. Nobody wants to watch that crap. And here's the problem, dude. Like, the best part about this is I'm getting more comfortable. So I'm probably going to hurt some people's feelings. I really don't care.
Go for it.
I'm not going to name
Tanner's
any names, man. Listen, I'm not naming any names, but there's a lot of area coaches that are against the shot clock, and they're against it for a reason, because they're absolute idiots that just want to run their own systems and burn the clock for 2 minutes. Like, who wants to watch that crap? And you're not preparing kids for college that want to play college basketball. People pay to watch you hold the ball and score 20 points a game. It's ridiculous, dude. And they're going to say, "Oh, well, it's old style basketball. It's how it should be played." No, it shouldn't be played that way. Like, this is 2024. How about we move into the new wave of basketball? So that's my favorite part about it, is especially in Illinois, all the Chicago schools, they play fast paced anyway, so they're going to adapt to it. But all the people down in especially the Adams County area, they're not going to have a clue because they're not used to playing with, a higher tempo and being able to execute each possession. So that's my 2 cents, Troy. I can't go more into that because then I'll start, hurting people's feelings. So I don't want to be doing that.
Yeah. We already did that with the Canadians and the compliance officers again. So I think that's a good call.
All right, hold on, Troy. Hold on here. Compliance people at Key were fantastic people. I just hated your meetings. I thought they were stupid.
All right, here's a real note, though, right?
Taylor's
We're talking about all the people we may or may not offend, right? How many, after a month or two of doing this, how many viewers realistically we think we're going to have?
At least 4.
People listen out of pity. People will listen to us out of pity. But
out of pity's crazy.
On a real note, they'll be like, "Damn, this is awful. I'm not."
Troy's got 4
again.
burner accounts. He's going to share this on every week.
100%. Do we all have access to the Instagram page?
No, just me right now.
That's bogus.
Oh my god!
I'll figure it out. No, we'll figure it out. Because
you're going to post some boring stuff on there.
No, 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 never. Just so y'all are aware, Mac's been one of my best friends for a long time. I had the honor of being best man in his wedding about a month ago. He is the most negative and sarcastic person that you will ever meet, which is why he brings such a
Dang.
nice element to this show. So that's just expected. I believe we are going to have a lot of viewers. I'm excited about it. But Mac, if you're right,
You didn't
and
put a number on it though.
I don't
Definitive
know.
number.
I mean,
August 23rd.
I think this show is kind of like when Tanner was in the marching band. We don't know if this is going to fit in well or work out much.
Dude, first off, hold on. Rest in
I
peace,
really
my
needed a way to
man.
bring that up.
Listen, rest in peace, my man Keith Wiemelt. Fantastic human being, dude. Honestly,
Great man.
super sad that he's gone, dude. Like that was devastating. I was devastated when I heard that because that guy literally let me be in band for a free A. He knew, he was the realest guy, in my opinion, at QND. He knew what was up. He's like, listen, you're trying to go play in college. I know you need to bump up the GPA. Free A. All you gotta do is show up. This guy was telling me multiple times, listen, you're not very good. You don't have to show up to some of the stuff, right? We'll give you the A. It's okay. Like what guy does that, man? Is a real OG, amazing human being, man. Definitely miss seeing the guy around Quincy. But yeah, my marching band days were awful. I don't know how the crap I was able to even like do that stuff because I couldn't read music. I literally couldn't walk at the same time. It was awful, dude. Awful.
do y'all remember Mac, Johnny? You remember when we were in high school and Johnny was playing, but Mac and I, we were in the student section. Remember how like high water this dude's pants would be in those band pants? He had the little feather hat on, and then he'd just have like the high top Under Armour like socks rocking out there at halftime. I used to love that. Used to be the best part. No offense, Johnny, the football team was killing it, but God, I used to love halftime just watching Tanner out there with the drums. Like, they teach you, like, you're supposed to smile, look at the audience. Tanner's banging the drums like this.
I used to always see him. We'd walk by the bleachers, and there was, like, the softball field. We'd go over to the softball field for halftime, so we'd be walking over there. God knows we're down by 21. Joe Overt's about to give you the business, and then you see Tanner, and he's just 6'12" standing there.
I can't help but crack a smile when down 20 points and you're supposed to be serious.
There ain't nothing better than that, dude. I mean, and the worst part is some of the people used to hit me with drumsticks. They get so mad. I'm like, well, why are you getting upset with me? Because I can't read music, dude. Like, how about we relax?
He'd be out at band camp. It's in July.
Oh, dude, it's 98 out, and I'm sitting out there cooking on the turf field. I can't read a thing. I don't know what's going on.
That's what I felt about that swim meet that one time.
Dude,
we're just hold. We got many episodes left here. We're giving away.
All right. Dude, the swim meet story. The swim meet story is the greatest thing ever.
That's a cliffhanger for people to watch the next episode.
That's how you get viewers for episode 2, y'all. We know what we're doing here. Cliffhanger. But
we should have started that off earlier in the episode to get them to start to watch. Get people to start watching before you can keep them on.
Mac, how about you shut up and give us something about the shot clock here? What do we got? What's
the shot clock? We're already on a tangent too far to come back from a shot clock. Let's piggyback up off Tanner's. You couldn't read sheet music. I couldn't either. You know how hard it was in Monica's choir class?
Oh, dude.
You had to work for a B or an A. And
I was not bullets.
Dude, going in and you'd have to do the test at the end of the semester. I'm an awful singer. The only reason she kept me on was just because she's like, we need that one person that's like is an athlete.
Yep.
Me and Potts were the poster childs for us. Potts is actually a good singer. I was just there to look good.
That was also not really a free A, but I mean, it was.
No,
a B. We have a good, solid B.
Well, and that's one thing too. Like you guys are bringing up a good point. One reason we we had this conception, back then that we were just athletes. We love sports, which we do, but this is actually a really rounded group here. Like Tanner, it was in band and choir. Mac and I were in choir. Johnny was playing football. I think you're a good artist,
on the flag team.
No, I did pottery and what was the old pottery teacher's name? What was that guy's name?
Dude, I don't remember his name. He was
Me
a
and Jackson
legend.
Cannell will just go over there. It started with a V, I think.
Van Camp?
Van
Yeah,
Gogh.
that was it. Do we have to get permission from these people to say their names or no?
Absolutely not, dude. This is a free for all. This is 2024, dude. Free for all.
Pots, the
I'm
amount of
using their
people that
name,
aren't going to
I'm-
listen to us aren't going to care.
Yeah.
Mac is just scaring viewers away right and left right now. Just don't watch.
They're like,
We're gonna
wow,
have
somebody's
some
real.
viewers.
Somebody's realistic in this group. It ain't the host.
God,
Yeah, I'm pretty
unbelievable.
realistic. I'm pretty realistic.
This
All
is
right.
more so just
It's, you know,
an excuse
I've-
for us to get on the phone and shoot the shit for 30 to 45 minutes.
And that's
Actually
fine with
what
me,
it
dude.
is.
So,
That's why I was very
It makes it
straightforward
good.
about the
Makes it
compliance
fun.
lady.
makes it fun.
there we go. All right.
What's on the next
Johnny,
agenda, Pots?
I'm going to give it to Johnny here. So for those of you that don't know, again, Johnny, Northern Arizona, captain this year, last year college football. He recently was selected to take part in the Big Sky Conference Media Day this past weekend. So super pumped for him for that. But, you know, it's
Incredible.
also something we wanted to have him talk about because, you know, we grew up, obviously, Quincy, smaller town. We don't get a lot of people that get those kind of opportunities. So, Mac, for our lots of viewers out there, we thought it would be interesting for Johnny to talk about his experience. So, Big John, the floor is yours. Tell us kind of a little bit about the media day and kind of how that process went.
You know, it was a good time. It was long, but it was a good time. So we flew out to Spokane, Washington. Me, my head coach, and then dude named Daniel Robledo. He's a D lineman for us, really good football player. So we flew out to Spokane like Saturday morning. Got there like midday. Of course, had to go out and do like a kids football clinic, which is just, I mean, the funnest thing you could ever possibly do. Teaching third graders how to play offensive line. They love it. I mean, who doesn't want to be an offensive lineman one day? Yeah. So I did that for like 2 hours.Got there. Finally, got to the hotel. Which was like a hotel and casino, which was pretty cool. Brought a bunch of 22, 23-year-olds to a hotel, and it also has a casino. That's a mix of great things.
John, how about we don't talk about that, Big John? Let's try to save your last year, all right?
Nobody sports gambled or nothing. Nobody sports gambled. Anyways, we checked into the hotel, and then there was like a Hall of Fame dinner deal. So we went to that. Some legendary people were there. It was like the Big Sky Hall of Fame induction thing. So they had a dude named Dick Motta. He coached for like the Washington Bullets, coached at Idaho, I believe. Was a famous NBA coach, like won an NBA championship at some point. He was there, got inducted to the Hall of Fame. This other guy named Bill Kolar, who played at Montana State, who got drafted in the NFL at some point, told everybody a story about how he wrestled a bear in college, which it was like the 60s. I don't think there's video evidence to verify, but this old guy looked like he could wrestle a bear. I mean, I believed him. So that was a thing. After that, just took it easy, went to bed that night, woke up the next day, got some breakfast, got to hear a speech from Ryan Leaf. All the players from other teams did. So if you don't know Ryan Leaf, he was like he played at Washington State, took Washington State to a Rose Bowl in the late 90s. And he was like when he was coming out of college, it was like him and Peyton Manning were like neck and neck. He went number 2 overall to the Chargers. Did not pan out. Kind of has a crazy life story. A lot of things went south for him. And he kind of all overcome it. Like went to prison for a little while and everything. You can Google it and look it all up too. But he overcame it. So him just talking about that was really cool. Kind of a famous guy. He gave us his phone number and got to talk to him for a little while afterwards. So that was pretty cool. Talked to some dude from this company called Influencer about NIL stuff. I don't think anybody's going to be paying me, but that'd be awesome. So there was that whole deal. And then that night, let me think about what we did. Oh, we had to do a bunch of photo shoots, so I had to get the uniform on. And let me also say, as an offensive lineman, there is just nothing more awkward than doing photo shoots because you're just this obese human being tasked with being an athlete who's stuffed in this tiny little jersey, and you're just sitting there, and they're asking you to hit all these poses, and you're like, oh, this is just not going to look cool for me.
Dude,
the guy
what poses can you even do as an offensive lineman?
They make you do all sorts of stuff. They're just like cross your arms, like do this, do that.
Have you get down in a stance or what?
Yeah, I got down in a stance. That was probably the best one. It hides the fat a little bit. And they gave us a white jersey. White jerseys are they accentuate my curves like nothing ever could. And so we did that whole deal. And then that night, had dinner with all the guys. And then they took us to like a little Top Golf type place. We got to play some Top Golf. And then the next day, finally, after all this stuff, was like the actual media day, which was pretty fun. Woke up, went downstairs. You kind of get your own little booth and stuff. So we sat there for about an hour, and like people came by and just talked, interviewed us, and that kind of thing. And then we went on and did like a 5-minute spot with like the Big Sky was on like ESPN Plus. So sat down. That was like live televised kind of deal. They asked us a couple of questions about our team. We got a new head coach this year, so most of them were circled around our new head coach and talking about him and the team and who's coming back and whatnot. Yeah, and then had to just go back to our little booth after that. Probably sat there for another hour and a half or so, just talking media, answering questions, all that kind of deal. And then that was pretty much it. Finally got on a plane and flew home. So it was fun. It was a good time. I'm not a huge person when it comes to like talking to the media, loving all that stuff. I just kind of want to play football. So it's a little bit of like a pony show, and everybody's kind of there just shaking hands, bumping elbows, that kind of deal. But it was fun. It was cool.
All right, John, I need the dumbest question you've ever been asked by a media reporter. Let's go ahead and spice this thing up. Everybody wants to know.
Question. I'll say there was a guy at this place who was like a local Montana reporter. Don't know his name or anything about him. All he did was ask us questions about how excited we were to play Montana at Montana. And like, he was like, Montana was number 1 in the preseason. What do you think about that? And I just like, obviously I was like, they're a good team. It'll be a good challenge, this and that. But like inside my head, I'm just like, I do not care about Montana, man. We play 11 other games, dude. Like, you can ask me another question. Oh, no. Dumbest question this weekend. So this guy comes up to the table, all right, and he's like, so what do you think about returning quarterback? I'm not going to say his name, da-da-da-da-da. It's a kid it's transferred out of our program in the spring. He played a couple games for us last year, but he's not at NAU anymore. He's like, what do you think about returning QB? Yeah, and I was like, yeah, he's unfortunately not on our team anymore, man. And this guy was just like, oh, I just did not do enough research. And so I was like, I'll tell you who our actual quarterback is and talk about him. But that was the worst one. I was like, dude, come on.
That reporter, that is why you're at the low major Division I level right there.
No, you should ask for his credentials right there, dude.
Let me tell you about the worst question I was asked post QU soccer game. This reporter named Troy Potts came and interviewed me a few questions. Man knew nothing about soccer and was asking me all these questions. I'm pretty sure we just lost. I was sweating bullets, and this man has the audacity to come talk to me.
No, we'll find that for episode 2. We wouldn't have interviewed you all unless y'all won. First and foremost, I didn't want to do the interview. My boss at the time was like, hey, go interview a player. Go interview number such and such. And, of course, it was this kid right here. And like, oh, hey, kick the ball in the
shining
goal.
Star.
Cool. Yeah, you kicked the ball in the goal. You ran around, and then you watched a bunch of other people kick the ball for a bit. How does that feel? I think was my question.
That's crazy, Troy. Come on, man. Should have asked him about cleats.
I think one thing we need to just
we'll give Max that prop. So he does have good cleats, fire cleats for sure.
One thing we need to kind of get off our chests on this podcast is everybody's knowledge of sports, right? Everybody's talking about Big John's talking about all these football names. I don't know jack shit about football. Football is like my least knowledgeable sport. I probably know more about tennis than I do football, being honest. Only team
that makes
you
at least like 10% European.
Well, my weekends consist of me waking up at 6:30 watching soccer. I live to watch soccer and get up early.
Dude, they live for that stuff over there. It's insane, dude.
But they play at night, so it's like watching a football game on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
You know, like
yeah.
Whereas I'm like 5:30 in the morning, getting up, pissed, tired, and watching my team lose and getting pissed.
Dude, I just remember going to my second European soccer game in Spain, and dude, like it was a second division, and like still like second division's like I guess elite in Spain, whatever. So they had this ginormous arena. They got our like the club or whatever got us like VIP seats, dude. Like the place was sold out. Like it was insane. Like people like screaming, like cussing in Spanish, whatever that was. I don't really know what they were saying, but I'm assuming they were yelling. I don't know. But dude, it's insane. Like the flares and all that crap that they do, like all the chants and stuff, it's nuts. So I got a lot of respect for European.
It makes American sports look honestly boring.
Yeah, dude, it's boring. Like
it's crazy.
I'll even go out to say this. Like I think like you can't really knock on the NBA. The NBA atmospheres are pretty insane during the playoffs, but I would say that college, even a few Division I schools, like I think European basketball has got their atmospheres are way better. Like some of the places I played in Lebor were insane. Like it was loud the whole entire time. But
you guys have never seen an SEC football game before.
Okay, John. I'm talking
about
basketball.
You guys never been to LSU? Are you kidding me? Those people
basketball.
will die for that stuff. Oh, you're talking basketball?
Yeah.
Okay, John, you can't compare freaking football, college football.
Okay, college football and European soccer are like People go
it's
nuts
the best
for that stuff.
best fans in the world, dude. Like it's insane.
Yeah. Okay. I hear what you're saying.
All right, Troy, what's
Yeah.
the dumbest thing that you've been asked a question? I want to hear what you've got because I know you've been interviewed by some idiots.
Yeah. I think there was a time. So when I was a manager at QU, we had a radio show for our head coach. I was a sophomore, so we had this radio guy. Won't say his name, but they decided. Coach was mad at all the players. Like, Troy, you're going on the show. I don't want to. We're not giving a player any screen time. So I'm 19. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll go on the radio show. That's cool. So I go down there. I'm thinking we're going to talk some basketball, and the guy goes, so you're the manager. Just kind of describe to me the laundry process. How exactly does that work like? And I'm sitting there like, seriously, this is my one moment in college to get with an actual interview on the radio, and we're going to talk about laundry. So like, I'm like, oh, well, when we're on the road, you got to have your quarters. You got to go to the hotel, put it in there, and half the guys won't give you their stuff on time. So you end up doing about 3 loads. So you better have some quarters. And he was like, make sure you have those quarters with you. That's important. And then, well, that was Troy Potts. Thanks for tuning in. I'm like, yeah, this show. Mac, you want to talk about no viewers. There was definitely no viewers on that show. We won like 9 games that year, and we're on this
Potts,
radio show in February talking about the manager doing laundry.
They probably said, all right, who lost football fantasy this year? And then we're like, all right, we're going to make you go interview this manager.
Troy was cleaning out Aziz Vadika's poop stains, dude. It was outrageous. Still, I mean, bro, you want to talk about, listen, Aziz was by far my favorite player I've ever played with. I mean, that guy used to run around the locker room with like a stick. It was insane, dude. That guy was nuts.
We need to get him on the show. I think that'd be a good guest at some point.
We can ask him about how his 3rd and 4th division Spanish career is going.
There we go. Get him on there. So, well, I think that's all the time we have for episode 1. Thank you again for tuning in. We got to go, Tanner. We've been on here, Ray, and we can continue this when we get off.
Yeah,
at the end of the day,
I'm cooking dinner. I haven't ate dinner yet.
Matt's cooking dinner. We got to wrap this up.
Hold on. What are we cooking?
Into the first. Oh, here we go.
Per request of the wife, we're making Cajun chicken pasta.
That a boy. That's impressive.
Cajun
Round of applause for that, buddy.
Well, we'll let Matt get to that as we wrap this up. Tune in. Episode 2's coming. Let's get those viewers up, and we'll see you next time.